nearly a week in Alice Springs. A few things done to the car and had a good old look around, and then we headed up from Alice up the Tanami track, heading for Halls Creek. And I think it's about 600, 800 k's through there. I'll have to check exactly. Before you turn off the bitumen, you go up the state highway north of Alice before you actually turn off onto Tanami Road. I got this can up there. It was built in 63, I think it was. Yeah, 62, and it's the highest spot on the road between Adelaide and Darwin. It's just a point of interest thing. Just before you turn off onto the old Tanami Road, once you get out there, she's fairly flat all the way. But anyway, we got to Tillmouth Well, which is the end of the bitumen. It was at the time we were up there. It was 2015, a fair while ago now. It was the end of the bitumen there. I think it was 166 k's to Tillmouth, and the fuel, I think we were paying $1.80 or something at the time, which was over $2 there. But anyway, I thought it was cheap insurance. If you get caught out in the middle of there, it's going to cost you a lot more than $2 a litre, and I think we only put about 10 litres in there anyway. And they got a pretty good setup there. They got a good camping area, and the shop come pub thing's pretty good, and they kill their own beef there, so you get really good steaks out there. And one of the girls that were working there, turned out she comes from a little place 30 k's down the road from where we lived in Rockhampton, down at Marmel. And she goes up there and does the season up, tourist season or whatever it is, season it is up there. And then comes back down and works truck stop down there. You just can't get away from people wherever you go, can you? Actually, the bitumen's a bit, about 20 k's I think it was, past Tillmouth anyway. Anyway, this is the end of it here, end of the bitumen end for Fairway. And while we pulled up, checking stuff over before we get off the end of the adventure proper, check the corrugations out on the left hand side there. Wandering around there and spots this thing over here in the foreground of this picture right in the bottom right hand corner there. It's the ant's nest or something. So wandered over there and have a look. It was a bit later on, I'd dawdle along 5k an hour, 20k an hour, something, and see one of these things, so I pulled up and had another look at it. And I don't know what lives in there, but I wouldn't put my hand in there to find out. Get a stick and poke down there, see what's in there. No, not going to do that. So if anybody knows what's in there, it'll let me know, because I'd be interested to find out what lives there. Talking about getting away from people too. This truck coming here now, it's on a rocky zone from Rockhampton. They're out there carting explosives or something out to the gold mines, that Tanami gold mine, whatever it is. There's another one from home. And that road sort of disappears when they go past. So you sort of, if you're driving out there, you've got to be a little bit aware of that sort of stuff, because you can get in sort of all sorts of trouble there. Because you actually do lose orientation on your steering wheel if you get tangled up in the dust like that, and bad enough, and you can't actually judge where you're going, and you move your wheel, and by the time the dust settles you in the bush, so you just got to be a bit careful of that. So we left Tillmouth about, I don't know, 9:30, somewhere there. Went to the territory border, the big flash territory sign there. We got, when you go to the WA side, they got very little. I was broken down, welcome to Hall Creek Shire, I think it is. But then you got the blue skies out there, my God, it's just sky is endless. So she works well with our Blue Sky Caravan. We pulled up about 1:30 for lunch break on the side of the road, a big pull-off area where the trucks have been pulling up. They're doing little patches of bitumen up here and there, through there, bits of road works. Roads horrendous there for a little bit. First I think it was 100, 120, 150 k's or something. Oh God, she was rough. We're down to 15, 20 k an hour, second gear, just dawdling along. And you see the whole aerial just whipping around there. And the corrugation's here on the left, on the right. Another one of these big large lorries coming. This one's also from around Rocky, or they're from Port Augusta originally, but they got a big job up around Rocky, cut a lot of explosives to the mines. Road, working on the road. I think there was 4 graders working on that road. So this depends on where you are in the cycle, whether the grader's been there recently or it's down the other end of the road. Parts of the road are really good. Cruise along there 100 k's now, no trouble at all there for a while. Then you're back down to, I don't know, 20 k's your speed, and you sort of got to read the road pretty well. Communications tower, way out the middle of nowhere. Most part it's a pretty ordinary dirt road, like what you expect the dirt road to be. And these anthills here, they're just, she's wide open country though. She's been a harsh old country to live in. No creeks, no nothing. I don't know where the water would have come from in the early days before they had bores and wells and whatever. But yeah, the country itself, there's very little water. I think there's only probably 3 creeks on that whole thing, really. Bitumen stretch. Now we're back on the gravel again. The gravel road. This is a careful driving recommended. The old caravan was sucking in a bit of dust. It's actually dirt shaking in underneath it. Up on the joins underneath where the wheel arches go down, and the step goes down to wheel arch top. I think there's sand coming in around the top of that. There's a Tanami mine. It's a big flash thing in the middle, absolutely nowhere. And that's where these trucks are hauling explosives and stuff into that. And they come all the way from right over Rockhampton, the east coast there, a long time, couple of thousand k's away. So we have finally pulled up about 4:30, so just a little patch up the side of the road. It's not far from the Tanami Downs turn off, and near the old Rabbit Flats Roadhouse. Used to be Rabbit Flat Roadhouse, was pretty famous, but got into blue with the Aborigines about something, and it got shut down. So now there's nothing. They want the country back, but then they just abandon and just leave it to its own devices. So it's all shut up. They even got a big pile of dirt across the road, so you can't even get in there. Anyway, we're camped in this little area just off the edge of the road, and you've got to be really careful where you park out there, because you've got little tiny sharp black stumps from when the fire burns those little bushes off, and it leaves a little really sharp stump behind, and real hard to see, so it's buried in the grass. So you've got to be really careful where you park there. We left that camp near Rabbit Flat about 9:30. We're heading to Wolf Creek today. We'll have a look at it. It's apparently second biggest meteor crater in the world. It's a fairly spectacular sort of a setup. If you not much there now, but if you imagine back to when it happened, there would have been a fair bit of activity going on. The road's not too bad today. graded a fair bit. We're still 406 k's away from Halls Creek there. And the grade has been tied in her up. So far she's pretty good, and it's country's changed a little bit, getting a bit more hilly. Road's sort of a little bit narrower, but I think that's just because it's a bit harder to grade the width into it. And yeah, she's still pretty good road now. It's pretty good. Oh yeah, it's pretty good all the way up to the territory border, and then when you get over in the territory, still not too bad. The worst of it was right back near Tillmouth. She's been a bit washed out along here, and they're in the process of fixing her up a bit. She's a bit dodgy, but pretty good. I've been on a lot worse roads than that one. Another grader working along here. 200 k's from Halls Creek, nearly there. There's the Halls Creek grader turn off. Get into the gate. It's a couple of k's in. I can't remember how far it is, but it's a couple of k's off the road. Easy to find. Big car park at the bottom of it. I had a bit of a sandwich and went for a walk up the top. And she's a bit bloody big hole. I'll get some statistics on it in a minute. Now, Wolf Creek meteor crater is the second biggest in the world, with fragments of meteorites have been collected around the place. It's 800 metres across. It's almost circular. Dating showed the meteorites crashed to Earth about 300,000 years ago, and it would have weighed more than 50,000 tonnes. That meteor crater was discovered in 47. And it's 200 metre return from the car park to the top of the thing is 200 metres return, so there's 100 metres to the top of it. It's fairly easy enough walk up there, but yeah, look, there's a walking track goes all the way around it, and you can walk right down into the guts of it, which would be interesting, but to how much walking for this old black duck. I don't know how far it is in there. You can camp there, but there's no water and no fires allowed. We didn't camp there, we just had a look, left there about, what time was it, 6 o'clock our time, 4 o'clock WA time I think it was. So anyway, we had a wander around there for a couple of hours, and then we headed off looking for somewhere to park for the night. We ended up about 15 k's out of Halls Creek in a gravel pit, which is a pretty good spot. We left the crater, we just headed for the highway. The next stop will be Halls Creek, or thereabouts. So there's a few brumbies running around out here in the paddock now, but we've had the first wildlife we've seen, I think. Not too much. Not many animals out there, no bugger all things out there. Even got a creek here now, look at this. It's even had some water in it sometime. So we're getting into this hilly country and we're camped in this gravel pit. And I was telling my mate in Broome when we finally got over there, telling him, well, we camped in a gravel pit at Halls Creek. And he said, you find any gold? And I said, no. He said, oh no, he said, they just wander around over there picking it up off the ground. This bloke over there told me a story about a bloke he found, went in the pub looking for somewhere to fossick, and they sent him out on the road where they'd been picked over 1,000 times. And they said, just go out there and I'll make come back in a couple of hours later with a $40,000 nugget he found in the grader reel. So, but they sent him out there because they thought it had been picked over and there's nothing there. When you get to the crossing, you hear all the stories about having to get rid of all your groceries and your honey and all the rest of it, and when you get to the crossing on this road, there's nobody there. There's garbage tins overflowing, and it's just, so when you come out on this 10 mile road, you come out 15 k's or 19 k's east of Halls Creek, and the checkpoint is the other side of Halls Creek. Alright, where are we going next?
I don't know. That way?